Grounded in Love, a translator's personal note. Here is how I first discovered the spirit of the practice of the presence. Walking down the steamy, weedy shoulder of Highway 20, cicadas buzzing, and my mind, I had no destination in rural northwest Georgia. Semis and cars whizzed by, inches near, but I didn't care. I wandered hours, often, head bowed, shoulders slumped by a heavy burden of depression. Then I tried forever, learning I couldn't fix the slumping, how trauma torques the body. But then decades on, I did find help somehow, a kind doctor, counselor, therapy, and words to name my pain, even begin healing, learn how to stand tall on the inside, at least. But on that June day, I was lost and lonely. When I looked up to see a book flat on its back on the gray tarmac, cream-colored pages facing blue sky and waving back and forth in the speed of exhaust fumes at tire level, it looked abandoned. I ran out in the middle of the busy road to rescue it. Hardback, it had a dark black tread on the inside of its front flap, but all pages were intact. What that book was and what it taught me are a story for another day. The magic of it is this. Standing in the red dust on the side of that road, I read words on a random page in that book, likely whooshed off a distracted owner's car roof, and knew I'd found a friend. Sometime later, I would read that book's fascinating introduction. I'd learn everything I could about the author and what else they'd written, and I'd study everything associated with that book. All that mattered on that day, though, was the first random page opened for me. Every sentence, every word, all that rhythm, every idea and joy and difficulty and human longing, all of that needed nothing to speak for them, not an introduction, not an author's note. If this translation of presence were now decades later mindlessly left on someone's car roof and blew off, I hope that anyone chancing on it would pick it up. And even if it smelled of gas fumes or had a tire mark from, say, a logging truck, they would read a few words anywhere in it and think, I found a friend. Also, I hope they would experience in the middle of pain and emptiness, like Brother Lawrence, the strange gift of divine presence, love. Sometimes that is as curious as a random good book lost in the middle of a busy road. It often happens in a time of darkness. When Brother Lawrence was simply looking at a barren tree one day, he felt hope for his humanness and divine acceptance. And from that profound encounter grew his relationship with kindness. Over time, he experienced ordinary moments as extraordinary peace and love. What is this book, this practice of the presence? Brother Lawrence just calls it the presence. It is a form of micro prayer done on the fly, a mini conversation with God, a brief lifting up of the heart. Done anywhere, anytime, the practice is perfect for anyone. We can't fail at it. It's shorter than a tweet. It takes less time than sending a text. It's easy, Brother Lawrence says. He says, quote, in the middle of your task, you can comfort yourself with love as often as you can. The presence is for all people everywhere. Quote, everyone is capable of these familiar conversations with God. Love knows what we can do, the friar says. Let's begin.